So this story is a little bit old. Well, it's like 5 days old. Maybe a week. But you know how the internet is. And I don't expect this video to get very many views. However, as the most corny nigga in the history of being corny, considering the fact that I use this anime avatar to represent myself as I make YouTube videos and will continue to do so, I do think that I have probably one of the most important perspectives on this topic, because I do not understand how people do not grasp what is going on here. So this all starts with Michael B. Jordan encountering L'Oreal. Honestly, the clip really does speak for itself, so I'm just gonna let it rock.
On the Hustle Show, we got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
The Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. Well, you're not corny anymore.
Now, being the Lorax of the corny ass niggas, I understand Michael B. Jordan exceptionally well in this moment. In fact, I don't see how anyone couldn't understand him in this moment.
But I'm not gonna make it racy. They say I make everything racy. That was corny of him to speak to that girl like that.
I'm not disagreeing. I would have made
Michael B. Jordan. That's why niggas call you corny.
I mean, there's this whole song that has probably an awesome chorus that every young man resonates with. Honestly, I don't even think you need to be a particularly black young man to kind of resonate with this. I think you just kind of have to be a man that was bullied, besmirched, and insulted by women as you were growing up, being called corny, lame, a square, or just downright a nerd or geek or whatever. Yeah, I think anyone that finally reaches some success can really resonate with. You see money all around me, I look like I'm the man, but I was down and out like last week. Tell me, where have you been? Came out of hiding, girl. Don't act like I'm your man. You just a fan. You don't hold rank. Don't hold no rank. Look, I told you niggas I was corny. But the thing that I just can't seem to grasp is this great pretending of society. Like, I understand why Michael B. Jordan acted like this. I don't understand why no one else can understand why he acted like this.
On behalf of corny people, we tend to hold on to shit.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Other people understood why he acted like this, but I don't get this great pretending that women aren't shallow and don't make snap judgments and decisions based on weird, odd kids, and that they can't be bullies and make fun of dudes that are unattractive and have like strange interests or proclivities that isn't like gang banging and selling drugs, robbing people, being a generally just unpleasant individual. Here's the thing, Michael B. Jordan is corny, because the definition of being corny more or less is a young black man who is nice, pleasant to be around, and has interests that are deemed uncool or lame. Yes, it's just the black version of being called lame, or a nerd, or a geek, or a dork. Back in the day, if you thought young white men got it bad for liking anime, video games, and otherwise goofy, silly interests like reading and writing, oh, you have no idea what young black men had to suffer through. At the center of all of this is really just a roundabout way of saying that these dudes are ugly or unattractive or undesirable to females. Like, we get all of that. But being a young black man and having to deal with not having acceptable black interests like gang banging and robbing and stealing and drug dealing and speaking properly made it so that you weren't just ugly, but you weren't even correctly African American or black from the minds of some of these black ladies. This is essentially like a double dipping on the undesirable chart. As in, it's not enough that like physically you were probably skinny and unattractive and not nice to look at, but also you weren't even considered correctly a black person. Again, it's like a double whammy. You couldn't even escape it. There's this great revisionist history in the world where people like to pretend that anime wasn't uncool, where people like to pretend that video games wasn't like a $1 billion industry and you could make a living off of it. There's this great pretending in the world where comic books wasn't seen as odd or strange. There's this great pretending in the world where if you like read mangas, you weren't called gay. There's this great pretending in the world like nerds who are now make up this gigantic consumer base of like pop culture wasn't like the underbelly of society that was regularly insulted, made fun of, and disregarded as like human beings sometimes. I'm not gonna say the life of being a black nerd was all doom and gloom and that there was like no community you could find or no people you could be around. I definitely was lucky enough to have that, make no mistake, but we can't pretend that black women didn't regularly call black nerds corny.
Show me your strength. That's enough.
Now, of course, make absolutely no mistake. This is not a reflection of every black woman ever, but it is a reflection of a lot of black women. And the thing that is just so befuddling to me is how black women are oftentimes the instruments of their own destruction, and they can't put two and two together. Like, listen to this clip here.
I really think deep down inside, I think that Michael B. Jordan is just like a nice, corny guy. And I don't mean that as a slight, right? I mean, we all know that the nice, corny guys treat you the best.
You know, it's so crazy. I went to school with Michael B. Jordan at a point in life, and we went to Chad Science together in Newark. And to be honest with you, we teased him all the damn time because his name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshots. And back then, that was like in the hood. We lived in Newark. Yeah. Like that's the hood. You know what I mean? So we would make fun of him like, what you got to do with your little stupid headshots? Like, and now look at him.
But Dominique the Diva just posted this not too long ago on her Instagram stories. Any black man that dates white women is corny to me. I guess that PR relationship with Lori helped y'all forget, but I didn't. And she also posted this. Anything I said once, I'll say it again. Nick Cannon is corny too. He got mad women, babies, and money. I thought we were all doing our Sierra prayer for a nice, corny Russell Wilson to save us from these toxic jiggas. No, corny ain't bad. That's 70% of the jiggas in this industry. Let's see how y'all act when he brings his next white girlfriend with him on the red carpet.
Now, completely ignoring the fact that this is celebrity gossip, and I understand that you guys probably don't know this and aren't interested in it, that's totally fine. I'm here to explain it. Michael B. Jordan broke up, or maybe Lori Harvey broke up with Michael B. Jordan. Listen, long and short of it is there are two black people that were together. So not only is it silly to project that Michael B. Jordan like exclusively likes white women, that's like objectively not true. What's sillier still is the fact that again she wants to re-instrument or reauthorize the term corny, as if Michael B. Jordan wasn't called corny literally years ago back in high school, and that now he's corny because he's dating white women. So we're just gonna throw the word out like it just means whatever you want it to mean at your convenience.
I agree. It's subjective. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I guess that's the rules of engagement. But this is the part where it actually gets spicy in the video. Because what it seems that a lot of young black ladies can't grasp is that we don't care about women's race because women are women are women are women are women to us. Like, we don't care. It's like I don't even know like the appropriate comparison to put it to like for you guys to grasp how little we honestly care. It's like you guys are all the same. It's like having an iPhone, but you have multiple different like colors and skins. It's still an iPhone, but you just pick the one that you kind of like the best. But at the end of the day, it's still an iPhone. Like, that's how we feel about women. And not so much that you guys are just like objects, but so much as that like you guys all do the same thing because we like women. So Michael B. Jordan doesn't even have a preference for white women. It just seems that that's the flavor of the week today. But even if that is the case or isn't the case, there is something that is just hilariously missing here, that again I have to comment on as the instrument of so many black women's destruction. Black women have spent years and years, and probably will never stop, calling me corny, and I accept the fact that I am a corny individual. But what I will not accept is how at the end of being called corny, I then go to all of the white women who actually like black men who are corny, accept their love and affection, and try to be with them, only to have black women then be surprised Pikachu faced at the fact that I went to the people who appreciated me. It is not at all unlike all of those thick white women who find themselves in the arms of black men because black men like thick women. I mean, could you imagine if a whole bunch of white nationalists decided that it made sense to besmirch and insult all of the thick white women that they didn't pick? You know the amount of times I've had conversations with thick white women who says that white dudes don't like them, so they just go where they're appreciated? Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. I find it rather interesting that both white men who don't want to pick their thicker counterparts and black women who call all of the nice black men who would have treated them well corny find themselves being together and then being shocked and surprised from both sides of the aisles when this is the inevitable result of besmirching, insulting, ridiculing, and rejecting individuals that you at the time didn't want in the first place. With all sincerity, I absolutely love black women, but I can't sit here and pretend that they haven't ridiculed me for being corny. Or they haven't ridiculed many of my brethren for being corny.
What was that supposed to be?
Like, the thing is, these corny traits of being patient, kind, diligent, and being hardworking are the traits that ultimately, for the most part, ends up granting a lot of success to people. If you didn't have the foresight to see those people all the way back in the past for reaching for their dreams, their goals, or maintaining themselves in the face of a bunch of, I'm gonna be honest with you, nonsense, then you can't then turn around and be surprised not only when those people remember the fact that you made them feel like crap, but also don't like you. Now, this is a little bit of an adjacent topic because it's the same energy. And by same energy, I mean same motivation. There are some women, particularly black women, who are upset at black men who go out and be passport bros. Now, I have my own criticisms of passport bros, make no mistake. However, I cannot counter or argue with their one, motivation, and two, the rage and anger that they feel. Because, yeah, they were also probably called corny and ignored too. They were probably also mistreated by a lot of black women because they weren't, well, pooky and dare I would say, Ray. Once again, the great pretending allows some of these women to be revisionist of the histories of the lives that some of these black men had. There's a TikTok I saw of a lady saying, well, honestly, I think it speaks for itself.
So they go straight over there with open arms to welcome these women in to being taken care of and being provided for and being protected. If black men with the passport bro mindset would just come to us black women with open arms to provide and protect and lead, we would be submissive too.
The obvious response to this is no, you guys would not have, because corny black men are not hiding. They're just ugly. If you just wanted these black men who would treat you well and be kind and respectful, you would have them, but you don't pick them because you don't want them. The great pretending that black men are the ones who made the choice to not want to be with black women, to make the choice that they don't want to try to raise families with them and be with them, is completely ludicrous and nonsensical, especially when I see very many, dare I would say, corny black men with their black wives on my Facebook having a grand old time in life. I have my own criticisms of passport bros, and I'll definitely talk about them in the future. However, the long and short of it is, I completely understand a lot of their motivation, frustration, and disdain with attempting to court, date, and be with, and ultimately love black women. Because, once again, I too was called corny. I remember one time there was this black lady who told me that her friends told her that her perfect dude is a thug church boy, which is the most befuddling thing I've ever heard in my entire life. What, the dude is gonna sell drugs on Friday, kill a guy on Saturday, and then on Sunday ask the Lord for forgiveness? Hey, yo, God, bro, man, you know what it is, man. You know how it do, you know how it be out in these streets, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean, God? Like, you know, I had to, you know what I mean? I had to go get it. You know, I'm hustling, you know, I'm trying to get out this, man. I'm trying to get it out the mud, God. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, G? So, like, listen, bro, like, you know, I had to do a nigga in, but you know what? Like, listen, bro, like, he had it, you know, so you just go ahead and sort him out, God, because, like, he didn't know what it was down here. He didn't know. He thought he could, you know, be in my turf, be in my street and whatnot. And I had to, God. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and sort him out. Go ahead and get him right, you know, man. But, you know, look, dog, I would say I'm sorry, but like I said, that nigga knew what he was trying to do. So, like I said, God, handle that. Now, the reality is I completely understand where black women are coming from. Okay, that's not accurate. I understand what they mean. What they're trying to suggest is that they want men that have the strength to protect them and provide for them. But because they're, dare I would say, stupid, their only perception of a man who could do that are thugs and gangsters and scammers and just downright awful people. Their minds cannot perceive of a world or a reality where these corny men can love them and respect them and provide for them and make their lives better. That is until those men finally become, oh, what's this? Attractive and muscular and nice looking and have a bunch of money. Now all of a sudden they do their revisionist history where they pretend that they did not indeed criticize him for being corny now that he is an attractive individual and is directing a movie. What's worse still about the great pretending is that now they want to retroactively make him corny because he's dating outside of his race, when it was the members within his own race that were the ones that were calling him corny and insulting him and besmirching him and belittling him and making him feel stupid. I absolutely despise Joe Budden for very many reasons. One of them is his outrageous pandering to black women because people seem to not grasp that constantly pandering to people does not actually incite them to becoming better. It just reaffirms all of the negative traits and attributes they have. Joe Budden decides that instead of recognizing this cold, hard reality of the world, that men who spend a huge chunk of their lives being insulted and mistreated now find themselves being successful, might have a little bit of resentment for the way they were treated before they were, might come out in not so good ways. Interestingly enough, Michael B. Jordan, he was just a bit standoffish. And even then, he still conducted the interview, so it's not really even fair to go that far with it. But Joe Budden, in his stupidity, had to say this.
Let me tell
Dog, you doing that to a girl is some corny nigga shit.
I can see that.
You being
That is
Michael
true.
B. Jordan today, allegedly sexiest man alive in all of these blockbuster movies.
I agree.
During your highlight week, you've probably never been more visible than you are right this second, and that's what you do to her. And if I bring back them white girl rumors, then it's gonna sound even crazier. Because why you talking to our sisters like that on the red carpet? We ain't even talking to white bitches like that. But I'm not gonna make it racy. They say I make everything racy. That was corny of him to speak to that girl like that.
I'm not disagreeing. I would have made
Michael B. Jordan. That's why niggas call you corny.
Off air. I would have made a joke off air like word.
Hey, Creed. Hey, what's this nigga's name?
I wouldn't have did that in front of
Hey, Creed. In case you were confused, that corny ass shit you did is why niggas think you corny.
I'm so stupid myself that I fail to understand exactly what goddamn difference it makes that the fact that L'Oreal was a woman. She was a mean person to him in his past. Now, listen, as a Christian, I do think that Michael B. Jordan should be more forgiving. And I'm certain that he definitely doesn't really have a genuinely long-standing grudge. But to have a little bit of apprehension, annoyance, even some disdain for recognizing that the only time that you become a valuable person, the only times you can change the minds of these women who once insulted you, was to have a whole bunch of money and to have clout and to have notoriety that they want to use, is annoying. and honestly, in very many ways, just disrespectful to your character and your passions and the things that you worked hard to enjoy. In conclusion, I'm not saying that any young man should maintain resentment after being bullied, but what I am saying is I don't understand why people don't grasp why they do. If you spent the whole of your life being told that you're not good enough, or that your interests are weird, or that you're just plain old not attractive to the women you do want to be with, I don't grasp why it's confusing when you decide to not want to be with them, which even then technically isn't even true in Michael B. Jordan's case, but I digress. The point is, and here's the reality of the situation, if Michael B. Jordan was expected to remain honest and kind and patient and thoughtful and nice during his interview with Miss L'Oreal, we all know exactly what he would have been called. He would have been called
Corny.
Corny is like corny.
Corny. Corny if you corny. You corny.